Hey, I want to thank you for joining us here on Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio, one of my favorite nonprofits because they mean a lot to the children of this community, and it's kidsPACK. And from kidsPACK, it's Patty Strickland. She's the executive director of kidsPACK. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Well, great to be here.
And also Amy Royal. She's the program and finance manager of kidsPACK. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you could, for those, we've got a bunch of new viewers, a bunch of people that are new to the county, might not have heard about you. What exactly is kidsPACK, and what does it mean to this community?
kidsPACK is a charity that started in 2011 with the need to feed homeless children. A gentleman by the name of Randy Browning was coming back across the bay and heard that there were children on the weekend who had no food on a radio station. So he called and was connected with a lady by the name of Dee Dee Wright, who worked for the school board, and she said, yes, we do have a division within the school system, which is called Hearth, which is registered homeless children. And that was in 2011, and he started a charity because he said that's not acceptable. We cannot have children leaving school on Friday and not having any food until Monday when they come in for breakfast. So they started with 100 children in 3 schools. Last year, we ended feeding almost 4,000 weekly in 85 schools. The need has grown based on the conditions of our environment. You know, we have a lot of inflation is very high. We have a lot of our families that are living in cars. We have about 45% of our homeless population is a single mom with children. And I'm sorry to say they can't afford to live in a house anymore.
Yeah.
So they're now living in cars or tents or hotel rooms where they're bundling up with more than, we have like 2 single moms with maybe 8 children to a room. And the sad thing is they're being charged $400 a week to live there. And that's not sustainable for any of us. But our job is to work through the school board and making sure that we feed the neediest of the need, which are the Hearth children, which are homeless. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a difference between being a homeless student in Polk County school system and being food insecure. Food insecure means that you live in a home and may or may not know where your next meal is coming from. But kidsPACK focuses on that homeless population because we want to make certain that if they are fed and the school can educate them, that they have a pathway out of poverty. And that's the mission that each and every one of us in our community have to make certain that these children have a escape from the situation they're living in. Most of our kids are elementary students, which means that they are not able to go out and find food. And the other thing is they didn't ask to be in the situation that they're in. But with us as a community, and we are a great community to bring health and hope to these children, that we can lift them up so that they can go to school. And I think most people do not realize that some of our schools open an hour early to make certain that these kids get a bath. Mm-hmm. Where they wash and dry their clothes, they shampoo their hair, you know, they brush their teeth, things that we do at home that we don't think a thing about. But these kids don't have that option. And the teachers want to make certain that they look like every other child going into that schoolroom and making certain that they have the hope and the love and it's shown to them that they matter to be able to have an education.
Amy, as with any nonprofit, you guys rely heavily on volunteers and the resources of volunteers and the generosity of corporations. Talk to me a little bit about how you're funded, how that money is spent, and where the volunteers come into it.
kidsPACK right now has 4 full-time employees. One is our driver, one is our warehouse, and then there's Patty and I. We get funding from corporations, from civic organizations, from individuals. People do food drives for us, which cut down on our cost. Our volunteers, though, are the base for kidsPACK to run. We could not run without them. So kidsPACK primarily buys the food, and we have partners all throughout the county. We have 26 partners throughout the county that will pack for us, that will deliver to our schools. We also have volunteers that will just deliver to schools. They pick up meals, and they spend their own money. They spend their gas money, they spend their time just to make sure that these kids are taken care of.
I want to say when barbecue season started off this year, I was at Lakeland, and I looked up on stage because they were talking kidsPACK. There are great community partners that believe in you and what you're doing. Who are some of those community partners? And talk to me about the importance of them not only helping you, but creating awareness at events such as barbecue events, our sports marketing events, things along that lines.
Well, I think we can look at all of our corporate sponsors. As you said, barbecue, we have also the Publix. We also have, Publix is fixing to do a massive on September 20th of 8,000 meals that they are purchasing the food and going to pack and deliver. We have Amazon, we have, Sam's, we have the Junior League, we also have all of the Rotary clubs. It is a community that is willing to take action to make sure that children are fed. We cannot do it with just a few of us, but I will tell you that with a community that is willing to bring awareness, brings action. We just did a thing with healthcare providers, Helping Hand. And Amy, how many pounds of food did they collect?
It was over 1,700 pounds of food that they brought them, programmed food.
I want to talk a little bit about, there's just 4 of you. And how many schools, let's talk sheer number of how many schools that you're dealing with and how many children, and how do you get this done? I mean, these children are relying on you, and there's just the 4 of you, and there's your volunteers. Tell me that story.
Well, as you said, I will say it, we're in 85 schools. And basically, there is 4 of us, okay, but it's called communication. It's a triangle, okay? We basically communicate with the schools. All 85 schools get a call on Monday morning or an email. And then our packing sites, which there's 17 of them, they also get communication from us on Tuesday. And basically, that's how it works. It just moves like in a circle. The key thing is volunteerism. What we do in the office is kind of the liaison that sprinkles out like an octopus, you know, that we feed out, and they are our eyes and ears in a school. Okay, same way with the schools is the eyes and ears, and they get back to our driver, who gets back to our office solving. It sounds like an impossible task, but it's really not. It's not when everybody has one mission in mind, and that is feeding a child and making certain that Thursday by noon that child's food is at the school. But it takes us, schools, volunteers. And as Amy was saying, the masses of volunteers that come in and pack for us and deliver for us. We have one gentleman who uses his own car and his own gas and drives 97 miles one way every week.
Wow.
To deliver to the outer layers of
To Alturas, to Frostproof.
way down in that area, which is a food desert. But think about that. If we had to pay a driver and gas, we could not feed as many children as we do.
And especially the way gas prices are, that's...
Yes, because our driver does do some of the schools, but most of them are volunteers. We have one lady who took a Davenport school last year. She happened to be a friend who we needed a driver, and I called up, and she was retired. And she adopted that school. She said, I went in, and I said, wait a minute, they also need a food pantry here, Patty, and they need this. And she took it as a personal goal to be that liaison between the school, the children, and us, to make sure if they needed hygiene products, because we get a lot of products that we dropped in. Yesterday was an Amazon. We will pull that out and give all of the laundry detergent, you know, the hygiene products, all of that will be pulled out and go back to the schools that have food pantries. And I guess laundry pantries.
Yep.
But basically so it's that, but we would not know if it wasn't for that liaison that attaches to that school and gets into knowing what the needs of that school are, what the needs of the children are. You know, we will get a call back from our driver who'll say, you know, if you get any socks in, okay, this school needs socks. Or if we get things that we can't use, we'll call people like the Dream Center and they'll come in and pick up, our Talbert House or whatever. It's a community working together to be able to solve the issue of making sure children are fed and educated towards a future.
Amy, she had mentioned something about Amazon, whether it's Amazon. I have a few animal shelters that I work with that I send them to Amazon. Can folks do that? Or can they do something as simple as, say, you're going into your local Publix and they've got buy one, get one of the crackers, and they buy. Talk to me, even the smallest donation helps. If you can't stroke that check for whatever, talk to me about the importance of that small donation and how they get it to you.
So we have an Amazon wish list. If you go to www.kidspack.org, there is a donation button. And you will see there's a link to Amazon, and it has an Amazon wish list. You can go there, you can buy one item, you can buy 10 items, and it will directly ship to us. So you don't have to mail it, you don't have to get it. There's nothing there to do except click that button and purchase it. You can also sponsor a child for 46 weeks of the year, and we feed these children over the summer also for $430. So that can be one check, you can pay that monthly, you can pay it biannually, it doesn't matter, but that's what it costs.
Patty, I'm going to give you the last minute or so. Reiterate the need for what you do and call on the generosity of this community to help not only you, but these families, these children become whole again, please.
I'll be glad to. I think one of the things that has amazed me this week, and I was talking about it in the car over, is the overwhelming need. When we got the report from the Hearth program in April, we were right at like 4,900 children. And this week it was published by Ben from the Hearth that in 27 days they registered an additional 1,000 children. My wish to everyone is, number one, we need to find a solution as to why so many children are without food. The other thing is we need to take awareness that there is an issue. It can't be hidden, it can't be driven. It's got to be up front, okay? And what are we going to do about it? And what can you do? Well, it's very simple. Go out, sponsor a child, or go out, as you said, if you're in Publix or Winn-Dixie or wherever it may be, and if you buy one, you're going to get one free. Put it in a bag for a child that needs food. Let us know and we'll come pick it up. We'll be more than glad to. But we need to realize that these children are our future. Without the help of you and I, where will they be? And what will our world look like if we do not pick up the torch and say, I am going to help this child succeed? That is my wish for every child in this county, is that each and every one of us will take that to heart and know that maybe all I have to do is give up a cup of coffee from Starbucks and I can help a child. That is my wish for everyone.
Patty, Amy, I want to thank you for coming in. Anytime that we can do anything for you to create awareness, stop back in and see us again, please, would you?
I certainly will. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate allowing us to share the awareness of hunger.
kidsPACK mission is to make sure all kids attending school have food on the weekend when school meals are not provided. Now, $430 is the annual cost to sponsor one child, which will provide 46 weekend meal packs. Child homeless numbers have continually increased, putting a burden on kidsPACK. When food and transportation costs are up, child support cases are up. And child support cases are up. Now, if you need more information, make sure you check them out on the web at kidspack.org or give them a call, 863-272-7927. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.